Getting an opportunity to be an assistant here at the university now, with working with LaRue Fields, what kind of a year has it been, and what kind of things have you really enjoyed in your first year as an assistant coach and working with Coach Fields?
I think, as you said, working with Coach Fields has been very rewarding, and I don't think I could have asked for a better person to work under getting started, because she's very understanding, cares about her players, and allows us as assistants to have some say-so and make recommendations. She doesn't use them all, but she's very good about listening and accepting our input. So that's very important. And we basically have a lot of the same goals and philosophy as far as players go, and what we expect from them as players and people. So it's been very rewarding, and I think one of the best things about it is getting to know the players and being able to work with them on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, the season, our record, is not what we expected or what we would like, but just seeing each individual grow from October 15th until March has been rewarding. And, you know, as a coach, you still feel like there's more, but it's very nice to see them grow as players.
And there's always more. In just your 1 year here, watching the players being affected by Coach Fields, what would you think would be the qualities or the characteristics that she will have left on the Minnesota program in her tenure here?
I think all of them have learned to be a little more assertive, a little more outspoken, and not just on the floor, but, you know, in their workforce or something, when something comes up that maybe they don't agree with, to be able to take a stand as a woman and be heard and those kind of things. And I think that's very important, because sometimes as women we tend to take a lot more than we should. And I think to stand up and be assertive and not being afraid of who you are has been a big impact on the kids here.
Okay. Looking toward the future, you've been a part of the program now, and it's at a real crucial point in terms of where is it going to go in the future. What kinds of things would you personally like to see happen here once they hire the coach to succeed LaRue?
Well, I think the university is willing to make a commitment to Minnesota basketball, and I think that's key. Number one, realizing that we have the resources here to be a top 20, top 30 basketball team. Obviously, that doesn't happen overnight, and I think they're realistic in seeing that it'll take 3-5 years to rebuild a program or get it on that level. But I think the commitment by the university and the community is the number one key to getting this program back to being a challenger for the Big Ten, and realizing that there may need some adjusting in different areas to recruit and schedule and all those little things that I feel is going to be important for them to be a contender for the title.
Okay. And last, we always allow you to have an open forum to say something to Coach Fields or about Coach Fields or about the program, just to anyone, any kind of a statement you'd like to make.
Well, being my first year here, I think it's been more than I could ask for, and she's been a role model for me, and she's helped me professionally and personally, and I love her, and I wish her the best of luck.
And you've been here for 3 years? 3 years. 3 years also, with LaRue the entire time. The news of her resignation, I'm sure you were probably one of the first to have heard it and to find out that she was in fact going to be leaving the program. How did it affect you personally, and how do you think it's affected the team as they've tried to complete this season?
Well, I think more than anything, I think it caught everybody a little off guard. Although I knew LaRue was having was trying to undergo some decision-making processes about her future and her career and things of that nature, the timing was a surprise to me. But I think what it did is LaRue preaches a lot to the players about being assertive, making decisions, making the best of situations, etc. And she made a decision, and she's acting upon her decision, and she's thought things out, and those are all things she's taught our players to do. So from that standpoint, you know, we've been able to turn it around and say to our players, you know, these are things this is hard, it's not easy, but it's something that's important for my own personal growth, and I've done some things, I've brought this program to a certain point in place, and now I need to go on and take care of me, and that's important. So I have a lot of respect for her decision and the way it was handled.
Good. You've worked at several other programs as an assistant. What types of things have you learned from your association with Coach Fields? And if you look at this period of time, working with her, what do you think you will have gained as someone who wants to continue to be in collegiate coaching?
Well, the nice thing about working with LaRue is we do a lot of team teaching, team coaching, and that's very nice. A lot of assistant coaches aren't afforded the luxuries that Clement Haskins and I are as far as getting on the court and actually instructing a lot. You know, through that we've learned a lot about things that will work, things that won't work, and it's somewhat been trial and error, you know, but it's been a lot of first-hand knowledge, and I appreciate that, you know, because it's people can tell you what you need to do, but until you actually go out there and do it and try it, you really don't know. But again, a lot more of the just off-the-court things, and going back to the assertiveness and the pride situation. You know, losing is never easy, and we've had 3, in essence, losing seasons. But there's been so much growth involved that you can't always chart success through wins and losses. So from my standpoint, we've had 3 very successful seasons, and I think I've learned with LaRue, we've been able to look at the positive things that have occurred each year and continue to go on and strive for more each year, the following.
Okay. The future is kind of uncertain for a lot of people in terms of looking forward to what's going to happen here in terms of who will succeed Coach Fields. What would you like to see as someone who's been with the program for 3 years? What kinds of things would you like to see happen for the Minnesota program in terms of building toward a better future?
I really honestly feel we have a good nucleus of people here. They're good people, they're good players. I think you've got to complement the players we have with a couple key players, you know, a couple players that can come right in and get it done right away. And I really honestly think you can win here at Minnesota, and you can win a Big Ten championship, and you can become top 20 caliber. The resources are all in place. It's still a matter of recruiting, but the strides we've made recruiting in a national sense the last 3 years have been almost astronomical, you know. In the past we did a lot of regional recruitment, but it didn't stretch out into the entire Big Ten region. And now we're well established in the Big Ten region, and we go into areas and people know Minnesota's a team to be reckoned with. So I really think the future's bright for Minnesota.
Good. I hope so too. As far as, here's your time for an open forum. Say something to Coach Fields or about her or about the program. Any last statements?
Yeah, well, you know, I've been with LaRue since she was named interim head coach, and we were good friends before, and we're going to be good friends forever. And I just appreciate all the opportunities she's allowed me, and I know I've grown with her, and it's been a lot of fun. But more than anything, we've got a lot of good memories, and we've put in a lot of hard work, and I respect the things that she has done and who she is and what she stands for, and I've learned a lot. So I wish her the best of luck, and I know I love her to death.
We're here with Crystal Flint, freshman from Massachusetts, here on the Gopher team. We're here to talk a little bit about what's happened in terms of Coach Fields' resignation and also looking toward the future. How did you feel, and how have you been affected by her decision to leave the program and move on?
Well, my situation is a bit different from everyone else's because everyone else at least got to play one game under Coach Fields. I was hurt, if my memory serves me correctly, 2 weeks before the off season began. Well, not in Big Ten play, and I didn't get to play one game. And so, okay, when I first got hurt, I had knee surgery also. So when I first got hurt, you know, it really hit me hard because I've never been hurt before. So I say, okay, well, it's going to be all right. I still have next year. But now next year, she won't be here, you know, next year either. So, you know, I was like, wow. So.
When you think back about the decision you had to make when it came time to deciding on colleges, the coach obviously has a big role in determining where you go. What did LaRue do, or Coach Fields do for you and with you to make you want to come to Minnesota?
I see Coach Fields as a powerful speaker, and you know, the things that she said really hit home, and thus far, since I've been up here, everything that she said was true. She's a very frank person, and she's not one to beat around the bush. and I liked that in a person, and I felt that I could trust her, and that she wouldn't lead me astray.
As far as the future now, I mean, will you have another freshman year next year?
Yes, I will. I've been redshirted.
You have been redshirted. You'll have 4 more years. It's like you're starting over again.
From the bottom.
Yeah. Well, you have a clean slate. And what would you like to see for your 4 years of college basketball from a new coach? What kinds of things would you like to see happen at Minnesota in your 4 years here?
Well, I would like to see a coach that gives everyone a fair shake. Being hurt. Actually, that's really one of my main concerns also, is that, we have injured people, and that, we wouldn't just be pushed aside, and that we would be considered also. And someone that knows the game well, and which I'm sure an institution like Minnesota will get that coach. And just an honest coach. I don't, people that, says one thing but does another, that doesn't get it. So, someone that's, really to the point.
Okay.
Get the job done.
We hope for that too. Quality person that can help lead all of you toward a successful future and building a Big Ten powerful program. Here's your chance to say something to Coach Fields about her future or her leaving, or anything you'd like to say about her or to her.
Well, I would like to say, Coach Fields, it's been wonderful knowing you, and I'm going to miss you a lot, and I wish I had that moment to play under your coaching. I love you.
It's got to be a little bit difficult when you come 1,000 miles maybe, or I don't know how many miles, to a new school from another state, and you were brought in here because of probably largely due to Coach Fields.
Yes.
And the kind of person that she is. How did the news of her leaving Minnesota affect you individually in terms of how did you feel?
Well, when I heard about the news, I was in the hospital having knee surgery. I was recovering from that, and that was like a double blow. I was like, oh my gosh, because she was like one of the main reasons, besides getting my education, and playing basketball, but she was like one of my main reasons of coming up here, because I know she would help me to develop into a great person, in all aspects of life. And I was just like, oh my gosh, just like losing a sister or maybe a mother or something.
That's something that we've heard a lot from the other coaches and the other players we've talked to, is how Coach Fields really, the things she teaches go far beyond the basketball court.
Definitely.
Has that been true for you?
Yes, definitely. Just by her coming in to my home and talking to me, she showed me and let me know of all the different opportunities and different things different doors that are open for me. She's just a great person. I mean, she's like the type of person I want to pass my life behind, because, just her values, her philosophies is just so close to what my mom has taught me. I was like, oh, this is going to be great.
Well, it's hard to know what's going to happen in the future now. There hasn't been a new coach named yet, but if you were helping them make that decision, what kinds of things would you think would be important in looking for a new coach and to succeed her and take the program over next year?
Well, basically, I say the most important would be is the emphasis that the coach puts on academics, because Coach Fields puts a great emphasis on academics. You see a lot of coaches who, think just basketball, and I want somebody to, okay, tell me about basketball, but also, Nikki, you got to go to class, you got to, not, hold my hand or anything, but just be concerned, I'd say, who's a type of person understanding, a good coach, the X's and O's, but like a great people person. So, we could really feel close to her as a coach and as a person, too.
So you'd like someone like Coach Fields?
Yeah, I would say.
That's great. That's great. You have an opportunity now. We kind of call this open forum time, where you can say anything you want to Coach Fields. on camera or about her or about the program? Is there anything you'd like to say, kind of as your statement to her?
I'm going to miss you, Coach Fields, and I just wish her the best. So I understand her decision, but I just wish her the best. Everything. It's kind of sad, emotional, but
Yeah, it is for a lot of people.
yeah.
Basketball's such an important part of anybody who plays in college.
Yeah.
It's such an important part of your life. So I know change is difficult, but
Yeah, it's just like a job and getting a new boss. So I don't know. It's hard, especially being a freshman also, because it's starting all over again, make more adjustments, and you know, just when you thought you had it, you know, something else changes.
new system,
Yeah,
new changes.
everything.
But well, thanks for being with us, Nikki,
All right,
and
thanks
good
for
luck to
having
you.
me. All right, thank
Yeah.
you.
What was your first reaction, or how did you feel when you heard the news that Coach Fields was going to be resigning?
It was real tough the whole next week, you know, later, seeing her in practice, and it just kept coming back to me that, you know, she will not be my coach next year, and she has taught me so much this past year. It's even hard to explain just how much.
Well, how has she changed you as a player and as a person? What kinds of things has she helped you with?
She's taught me a lot about the game that I did not know from high school. To keep working hard, and you know, that setting it in your head that you can do it, no matter, you know, keep working hard and you can do it.
In terms of the future in the program, you have, you know, 3 more years of your career here to play at Minnesota. What kinds of things are you looking forward to, or what kinds of things would you like to see from whoever your new coach will be?
In these next 3 years, want the program to keep going up and keep bringing in top recruits, and I just hope the best for this new coach coming in, and we're all excited for the next years to come.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to say to Coach Fields, or about her, or about the program?
Gonna miss her. She recruited me, and I came in having her as a head coach, and she's taught me about life and basketball both together, and I'm gonna miss her.
Okay, great. Okay, we're here with Jenny Dillon, and you've had an opportunity to play under Coach Fields for 2 seasons now. In describing the last couple of years with her, how would you characterize her as a coach?
She really knows what she's talking about. She's a really good coach. She's hard, but I mean, any coach is going to be hard, obviously. I really like playing under Coach Fields because she gets the best out of me. You know, she makes you work. So I think that's what I like best about her.
Okay. As far as the news of the resignation coming out recently, how did that affect you personally?
Well, I was shocked, and then I was mad, and now I'm really happy, actually, because it's what she wants to do. I mean, we all have to be happy. That's the one thing, and I'm glad that she's doing something that she wants to do. And as far as I go, I don't know, it's a new experience for me, because I'll be able to see what another coach can do for me, what I can do for another coach, and maybe bring out some other things about myself with her, you know.
Go ahead, you can go ahead and put that back on. As far as now looking at your future, and I know when you start to get into your sophomore year, hopefully if you can stay injury-free and everything, you can start really becoming the kind of college player you want. And a lot of times it takes until your junior year. What do you look forward to as far as your own future, and in terms of what's ahead with a new coach?
Well, actually, first I want to play more. I mean, that's #1 on my list. But, well, actually, next year I'll only be a sophomore as far as basketball goes, because I was redshirted. I think, just like I said, I just want to play more. I want to get in. I want to get more experience. I'm going to work really hard this summer, you know, to assure myself more that I can play.
If there's one thing you'd want to change about the program in terms of becoming a better program, and I know Chris Wills really is committed to bringing the best coach possible for the future, what would be the one thing you'd want to change from what you have now in the next couple of years?
Oh, gosh. I don't know, that's a really tough question. I guess the thing that I'd really like to change is for us to be more involved. And I don't know if that really makes a lot of sense, but I guess to be closer as a team. We have I feel a lot of individual players, and we do play well as a team, but I think that we could play better if we would play more as a team and did more together as a team so we would know each other better.
Okay. How do you set up, what do you mean?
Open floor, is there anything you'd like to say to Coach Fields, about Coach Fields, or about the program to anyone or everyone that might be watching?
Oh, yeah. I'd like to say to Coach Fields, I'd like to just say good luck, and we wish you the best. We'll miss you terribly. And I would like to say to all my players, or not all my players, but all my teammates, thanks a lot for all your support, and I really appreciate it, and good luck to the seniors, and thanks a lot.
For you personally, how has Coach Fields' resignation affected you?
For me personally, it's affected me a great deal because she recruited me. During the time that I was being recruited, she was assistant. She was named head coach after I signed. So it was kind of like, you know, she was head coach, assistant too, you know. She was a little bit of both to me. She played a big part in me coming to Minnesota. But I think that the program's going to move on. We have a real young team. So regardless, I mean, we're going to be starting fresh as far as players is concerned, and now the new coach. Maybe it's just a fresh start. But she had a great effect on me personally and on the court.
You may have touched on it just a little bit already, but in your opinion, how will her resignation affect the program here at the University of Minnesota?
For minorities, it's going to affect it a great deal because the women's basketball team previously didn't have many minorities, and a lot of players looked at her being a black female, you know, as a incentive to come to Minnesota, and so I think it may hurt recruiting a little because players that they have been recruiting, you know, just kind of think, oh, I'm going to play for a female coach. You know, the minorities are saying, oh, I'm going to play for, you know, a minority coach. And a lot of the kids are kind of like, nah, well, you know, I don't know, because we don't know. We may get another minority, Indian, I don't know. But you know, right now everything's up in the air, and we don't really know who's going to be named. So it'll probably affect the minorities a little.
Describe Coach Fields for us.
She's very strong-willed. She's very assertive. She gets things done.
Open floor, is there anything you'd like to say to Coach Fields or about Coach Fields or the program?
Well, I like to say about Coach Fields, I think she's done a great job in her time here. Although last year we did finish 10, I think she made a lot of positive changes. The team was a lot different to me. Things were done a lot quicker, a lot better, and I would just like to say to Coach Fields that you've been a real positive role model to all of us, and we appreciate everything you've done for us.
Coach Fields' resignation, what has it meant to you?
I look at it as another challenge. With Coach, as you well know, I signed with Coach Fields knowing that she was the head coach. My class was the first class that she recruited as head coach. And so I knew what she stressed as important aspects in the game and so forth. And now with her resignation and someone new stepping in, I'm going to have to get to know them as coaches and realize that they may have a whole different game plan than what I had originally thought when I signed at the University of Minnesota. So.
Well, how will Coach Fields' resignation, in your opinion, affect the program as a whole?
It's affected the program presently, now in our season, in a sense that it's been harder for us to, to accept the whole change. But in the long run, I think it will be the best in general, because Coach had stated earlier that it's just right now she needed a change, and I think that a new coach stepping in with their new enthusiasm for the program will only make it better.
Open floor, is there anything you'd like to say to Coach Fields or to anyone watching about the program at the University of Minnesota?
The program is definitely on the rise upward, and I want everyone to realize that we are working very hard, and Coach Fields his heart's always going to be with our team and with us, and we will always be with her. But the program is definitely going somewhere, definitely.
Okay, one more question. And you may have done this already, but I'm gonna try a different approach. Describe Coach Fields to everyone.
Coach is a very positive person, but she works you intensely, and that's what I like about her, and that's why I signed here. She's got a work ethic that's unbelievable. I mean, she expects the best, and she out of people around her, and she only expects the best out of herself. So she's a very strong person with a strong character.
Here with Coach LaRue Fields, we've been talking to not only your players but also your assistant coaches, and we've been hearing some very emotional types of responses from them as far as how they feel about you leaving and resigning, and a lot of them say they want to see a successor that's just like you.
Uh-oh.
And we know you're certainly going to be missed. Can you tell us a little bit about some of your thoughts in terms of arriving at this I know it was a very difficult decision for you.
Yeah, it was a very difficult decision. I think there were a lot of factors. There wasn't just one factor. And I think the main thing is just making some time off for LaRue. I've been Coach Fields for a long time. And I know some people say, well, you've only been coaching 12 years, but that's a long time for me, you know. And I would like to just be LaRue and to find some things find out more about LaRue and to see what makes LaRue tick, because what I've been doing over the last couple of years is I've been nurturing other people, players, assistant coaches, you know, and what have you. And I would like to see just what's inside of LaRue and what makes LaRue tick instead of trying to get all that from everyone else. So, I mean, I know who I am, but I would like to know a little bit more of who I am and what's going on, and to do a change of profession. And I think that's a challenge I'm looking forward to. But I am sad about leaving, but I'm looking forward to my future as well.
Good. In talking to, again, the players and assistant coaches, it's very obvious that you have been a giving person, because they all feel like they've gotten so much from you personally, and they all tend to go back to what you've taught them as people and off the court, and as far as being strong women. That really has been important to you, as far as not ignoring who they are as people beyond their basketball abilities.
Yeah, I think that's been one of the most rewarding parts. And I know people measure our success, and they may say, well, she wasn't successful as a coach, you know, because we didn't have these wins, and we have more losses. And I think that's absurd in the true sense, because these young women that I'm associated with, be it coach, be it player, be it manager, they have grown. And I know that they will take a part of me with them, you know, as I would take a part of them with me, but they have grown. I mean, the growth in them as young women and individuals are just, I mean, we're talking totally different people. And I know you've seen their growth. I mean, they have just grown. So it's kind of funny to see the people you knew as freshmen and sophomores, the Jody Olsons, the Sue Renners, you know, Juanita, and the things that they have done over the time period that I've known them, and the things they do now, the assertiveness and the strength and the courage and the openness and the open-mindedness that they have, and, you know, all facets of their games and their lives have changed. And it's just, that makes me smile, because they've all just, but they're good, they work real hard, and they're a little bit like me, and that makes it fun, you know. They're ready to take a risk. Even though a lot of people within the state of Minnesota and the city of Minneapolis or St. Paul don't understand why Coach Fields is leaving this position, and how she could quit in the middle of the year with no job, and you know, and but my players know, they know. They know Coach Fields is a little bugged, you know, and very intense, but she's going to make her own path, and she's going to do what she feels is best, and she's pretty stubborn and headstrong, and she'll make it all right, you know. So they know that. So even though they were shocked, as the weeks grew and passed, you know, that's typical Coach Fields. She would do something like that, you know, because it is different, and I have a tendency to be a little different.
Well, it takes a certain type of person to believe in themselves enough to be able to take a risk like this and go off into another direction, but I'm sure it'll work out fine for you.
Yes, it will. It really will.
As far as leaving the program and leaving these young ladies that have all obviously meant so much to you too, and I know you'll continue to follow them personally and as basketball players, but what would you like to see happen? I know you'll be watching Minnesota in your future too as the program goes on. What would you personally like to see happen here for your successor?
Right. I would like to see the program grow to the top 10, top 20. The same goals that we had set, you know, when I came, or the administrators have set for the program. I want to see those things, you know, accomplished. That's why, you know, I've done everything in my power to make the transition easier. And the administration has been very supportive of me to, you know, when we did the contract, what goes on after the season is over. But I would like that person to be successful. I'm a part of that. I know what happens in situations like this, though, realistically, is when the bad things happen, it's LaRue's fault, or the last coaching regime, that, oh, we did this, and we're going to pretty much write next year off, because that's pretty tough. Oh, couldn't get this in place because, you know, this was the last coach's thing. But whoever, the foundation is laid. There are a number of players and young people across the country know about the University of Minnesota, and that wasn't through Coach Men's, you know, the men's team, or Coach Haskins, or what he's done with the men, but it's because of me and the assistant coaches going out and selling who we are. And we've opened up tons of new doors. We have tons of underclass people that we're looking at. So we've done some things. We've worked our fannies off. We've sacrificed parts of our lives to get this program. It's just the next level I don't want to do, and when I make my decision, then that affects assistant coaches as well. But I felt that, you know, I felt that I've done what I could right now, and that's what I want to do.
Okay. Last statement, summarizing kind of what the Minnesota experience, if someone asks you, what was the Minnesota experience like? Could you sum it up in a couple of sentences?
It's tough. I think it was probably the most rewarding thing that I've ever done in my life. You know, I think that being the head coach at a Division I school, at a Big Ten school, and particularly at the University of Minnesota, there's nothing like it. I think it's one of the epitome of jobs, and because it stands for so much, I've come to love the people of Minnesota. I think that they're good people, they're caring people, they're honest people, they're trustworthy, and even as I go to my next career, I would like to pursue interests here. My preference is to stay in the Minnesota area, to stay in the Twin Cities. But wow, I don't think no one could ever... See, I feel honored to be the head coach. It wasn't just a job, it was an honor. And, you know, and I'm saying that not that I don't want this honor bestowed on me, or not that I'm not worthy, but I don't want to be honored with this position anymore. I would like to maybe go down and just work with the community, and maybe get a little bit more down and dirty with the things that I do in my life now, and not to live on a pedestal, because sometimes we tend to think that coaches and administrators and people, you know, especially at the U being the only Division I, we get up on this pedestal and we're bigger than life, and we're not. We're people, and we want to have families, and, you know, I'm no better than anyone else. I'm just a normal person that want to have fun and enjoy life, but sometimes when we're in those positions, we don't get to do that. You know, we live in this glass house.
It's consuming too, I know. Well, talking to everybody, we know you've left much of yourself here,
Yes.
and much of yourself with all of those lives and the players that you've touched, and your assistants and all of them have voiced very much that they're going to miss you. And I just want to personally wish you the best of luck in all you choose to do.
I appreciate that, Janet. I want to say, too, I appreciate your friendship. I think you've done a great job for girls' sports and women's sports across the state. And, you know, I know you're doing some things differently and new. And I want to say good luck to you, too. And I thank you for being there and being someone I could talk to over the years. And thanks for coming back to the program.
My pleasure.
We've missed you.
Best of luck.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
For you, Holly, how has Coach Fields' resignation affected you?
Well, coming from Cleveland, Ohio, and knowing that she was going to be the head coach and expecting that she was going to be the head coach for 4 years, at least for my time, it came as a shock. But she has done what she needed to do, and I respect that totally, and I'm just looking forward to next year, next season.
How do you think her resignation will affect the program here at the University of Minnesota?
Affected in what way? I don't...
Okay, the direction that you want to go. What kind of an effect has LaRue or Coach Fields been to the program for you, and in what way will her resignation affect the program from your point of view as far as how it's run, things happening?
Well, Chris Foltz is taking every option to bring in the best head coach she possibly can, and I'm sure she will find someone who will be able to fill Coach Fields' shoes and hopefully go past that as well. I think the program is going to continue to grow, and in the next couple of years, I hope to see some progress along the way. So.
Okay. Open floor. Is there anything you'd like to say to Coach Fields or anybody watching about? Let's try again. It's open floor. Is there anything you'd like to say? Basically, any subject. More upon Coach Fields or the program itself.
Well, Coach Fields has not only been the head basketball coach, but she has been a role model for her team. When she comes on the floor, she's ready to play basketball, and she has instilled that quality in us as well, and I just thank her for that.
For you, Ellen Kramer, how has Coach Fields' resignation affected you?
I guess, well, it was a real shock, and it was kind of hard for me to adjust to, you know, for the first maybe week or so. But I kind of looked at everything in perspective, and she's, she isn't doing it to hurt us, and every way she did it in a good way that, it's going to help our team in the long run, because if she can't really give 100% to us, for another year or another 2 years until our contract lets up, that would hurt us in the long run. And so, now I'm looking forward to next year, and, I think I'm going to make the most out of the situation.
Coach Fields' resignation, how do you think it will or has affected the program here at the University of Minnesota?
Well, I think we're losing, a lady who gives 100% and who's real aggressive and real into her job, but yet, it's good that she's going to be leaving if she's not going to be able to give it her all like she has in the past. And so, I think there's a lot to gain from it also.
Open floor. Is there anything you'd like to say to Coach Fields, about Coach Fields, or about the program, to anyone or everyone that might be watching?
I just want to say, I guess, that, it's, since I've been here, the program hasn't really, I had dreams of my freshman year to building a program and becoming, maybe a contender for the Big Ten title. And, I know that hasn't happened, but, we're working hard here, and I know, we're in the last place in the Big Ten, but a lot of people just assume when you're losing like that your team is not good. But, we have a lot of really good athletes and good players on our team, and, you know, hopefully, you know, next year or the years to come after I'm gone, you know, we can get better. And, you know, I just encourage a lot of people to come out and see what it's all about because, you know, winning and losing isn't everything, but it's real enjoyable, I think.
Me personally, I was very surprised at first, I think, along with everybody. But, you know, we can't really feel sorry for ourselves as a team and, you know, think that, oh, you know, why does she do this? Because it was something that she had to do and something that, you know, she thought would be best for her, and I respect that decision. As far as announcing it in the middle of the season, I think, you know, there's advantages and disadvantages to that. Of course, it kind of, you know, hurt us a little bit, the underclassmen more than the seniors, just because they'll be back. But I think that it was to an advantage to the underclassmen where, you know, they know that this is the case and what's going to be happening in the future, and they're prepared for it, rather than, you know, her waiting till the last minute and telling them then, and then, you know, everything's all up in the air. So this way they had time to do a national search, and, you know, as far as that goes, that's probably an advantage.
In your opinion, how is Coach Fields' resignation going to affect the program at the University of Minnesota?
Well, the program will obviously go on. I think that, I don't know if it will affect the program at all. I think that, you know, they obviously have to be aware that that's a possibility of a coach resigning when they make their contracts with a coach. And obviously she'll be missed. She had a lot of positive influences and a lot of good things that happened while she was here.
Okay, open floor. Is there anything you'd like to say to Coach Fields, about Coach Fields, or about the program in general, to anyone or everyone that might be watching?
Well, I'd just like to say to Coach Fields, good luck in her future, and to the rest of the team to keep their chins up, because, you know, good things are going to happen to them if they keep working hard. And although they don't have a coach right now, it will be decided in the future, and they have a lot of stuff to look forward to.
Okay. Coach Fields' resignation has meant a lot to the players and to the community. What has it meant to you?
Her resignation is her choice. I want her to be happy. If she's tired of coaching and tired of doing what she's doing, I want her to go out and do what it is to make her happy. If it's, you know, having whatever career it is, or to do whatever she wants to do, as long as she's happy. And I think that's for anybody, as long as, you know, you're happy. And she, you know, she made that choice. I know it was very difficult for her, but that's her choice.
Okay. Same question, different direction. What has Coach Fields' resignation meant to you, or how has it affected you?
Well, by being a senior this year, I don't think it affects me as much as the underclassmen, because I'm not coming back and having to work under a different coach. I've learned a lot from her from the 4 years that I've been under her, but this season, her resignation, I don't think has affected me by my playing or anything.
Okay. How will Coach Fields' resignation affect the program at the University of Minnesota?
I think it's a good opportunity to get a new coach in here, a different face, a different way of coaching. Hopefully players that are returning and incoming players will get the most use out of their talent, that this next coach and their coaching staff, whoever it may be, will be able to utilize the talent that is on this team, because there's an awful lot of talent, and I just want it to be brought up to its potential.
For you, what has Coach Fields' resignation meant to you?
At first I was really disappointed in the decision that she had made, just because I thought she would be a good coach here. But then I realized that it was the best decision for her to move on to whatever she needs to do. I think
since I am graduating, it really doesn't affect me that much. And I think the younger players will be able to adjust pretty quick to a new coach.
How has Coach Fields affected you personally?
She's helped me a lot in a lot of areas. She's brought a lot of self-esteem into my game. She's real into making sure that everyone's an assertive person and never backs down to anyone, and not just on the court, but in later life. So I think she's helped me be a more assertive person.
How will her resignation affect the program here at the University of Minnesota?
I'm not real sure. To me, it depends how hard they look for a new coach and who they bring in, because I think that's more important. She's definitely touched the lives of everyone who's come through, and I think it's okay that she moves on. But I think they need to be careful of who they bring in, because a lot of the younger players came here for Coach Fields.
Okay. Open floor. Is there anything you'd like to say to Coach Fields or to anybody about Coach Fields?
I guess I'd just like to thank her for the dedication that she's put on the court, and what she has personally given to all of us players individually. She's helped us all a lot, and I'd just like to say thanks for that.
What has Coach Fields meant to you as an individual?
Coach Fields has been a role model for a woman in a high professional level. I think she's taught me a lot of assertiveness and confidence that I can do whatever I want to do in life. I think she's taught me not only on the court things, but she's taught me probably even more off the court and how to deal with certain people and take charge of my own life.
What kind of an impact will Coach Fields' resignation have as far as the women's basketball program at Minnesota is concerned?
I think that she has brought in a lot of new air about in women's basketball at the university. The program's turned around to a very aggressive program. We practice hard, we have high goals, and it's known that we work hard. And I think just bringing around that turnaround in the program is a key that she's done, and that will be missed. And I know, and hopefully the next coach that comes in will continue pursuing that goal.
Okay, open floor. Is there anything you'd like to say to Coach Fields or anyone out there about Coach Fields?
We're going to miss her, and whoever has her working for her is a lucky group of people.
What has Coach Fields meant to you as far as being a part of the Minnesota program?
I would say that she has taught me more about basketball than I've ever learned my entire life prior to coming to college. And she's taught me a lot beyond that too, pride both on and off the court. She's really taught me how to be a woman and how to be assertive, and I can't even say how much I've grown up playing under her.
Okay. What kind of an impact will LaRue's resignation mean to the Minnesota program?
I think that she was really taking the Minnesota program places, and that I hope that the new coach comes in and picks up right where she left off.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to say to Coach Fields or anybody out there about Coach Fields? Open floor.
I would like to say that Coach Fields is probably one of the biggest influences in my life, and I'll always remember her.
Okay, Jody, could you share with us what Coach Fields has meant to you while you've played at the U?
Coach Fields has really meant a lot. I think through her, besides growing as a basketball player, I've really grown as a person much more than I think I would have under Coach Hansen when she was here. She's really taught me to be assertive, be myself, speak up for what I believe in, and just all around, say what I think and be more of a leader.
How much of an impact will LaRue's resignation have as far as the University of Minnesota women's athletic program?
I think it's going to have an impact. Depending on how big it is, it's going to depend on the coach coming in, and and I think Coach Fields has really prepared the freshmen, and she will continue to prepare the freshmen and the underclassmen for that new coach, and I think that's going to help a lot to make the transition easier. But definitely, it's going to be a big impact because everyone's going to miss her. Everyone, she meant so much to the program and to the players.
Okay. And is there anything you'd like to say to Coach Fields or to anyone about Coach Fields at this time? Your chance to say what you want.
We're going to miss her. Okay. We really are.
Hello, this is Jam Taylor, and I'm sitting here in Williams Arena with Coach Jerry Giesler.
And Coach Giesler was under the direction of Coach Fields as an assistant for the University of Minnesota Women's Gophers. So I just want you to talk about maybe being under Coach Fields and what it was like, and maybe what you're currently doing as far as staying involved in basketball.
Well, I was with Coach Fields for 1 year when she first got the job. I came out of the Minnesota AAU program. I really enjoyed the experience. It gave me a chance to coach at the Division I level jam and to be with the quality players that normally you wouldn't get a chance to work with in the AAU programs. I still have an AAU team. I've got some of the best players in the state. We're getting ready for the state tournament in late April up in St. Cloud.
Okay, so as far as basketball, where do you see the direction of basketball going for young women in Minnesota?
I think it's dramatically improved. We started taking teams to the national tournament 6 years ago, and since that time, I think the play in the high school level in the state of Minnesota has improved probably 300 or 400%. Plus, there's many more camps and many more opportunities for the girls to play. Plus, the AAU state tournament has gone from a deal where we had 3 or 4 teams to the point now where they have over 80 teams. So I think that the atmosphere and the situation for girls basketball is certainly on the upturn and is going to be very good in the state of Minnesota.
Okay, I know at the University of Minnesota the mentality and the way they play at the U had changed with the changing coaches from Ellen Mosier-Hansen as far as attitude and intensity, a different playing style. How do you see Coach Fields is affecting that sort of thing?
Well, I think she started to gear the game up to the level that it needs to be played at to be in a national spotlight at some time. The women's game has intensified considerably, and it's no longer what you might have called the girls' club at one time. It's now a real competitive, very hard, physical game that requires a great intensity, and I think that's what Coach Fields brought to this program.
Oh, sitting with me here is Cindy Phillips, and Cindy played during the 83, 84, 85, 86, 87 basketball season under Coach Ellen Hansen. And her last year, Coach Fields came in as an assistant coach under Ellen Hansen. So, what was a major change you saw as far as coaching strategies and attitude and intensity when Coach Fields came in?
Coach Fields was, I don't want to say, she's a tad bit stronger. She was stronger than Coach Hansen was in that she pushed us a little harder. And I could see that was going to develop when, in fact, I left. I never really had a chance for Coach Fields to actually coach me because I got injured. So she was more of a good friend, more of a confidant to me rather than an assistant coach. But if, in fact, she did have a chance to coach me, I'm sure that my senior year would have been one of the best senior years that I've had, that I could have had.
I know you work in the community, especially in the black community, not saying that's specifically who you deal with, but as a young black woman, how does Coach Fields fit into what you do as far as community work?
Coach Fields has came out to my particular center on several occasions, and she spoke with some of the kids. She's made it possible for us to get free tickets to come here and see some of the Gopher games. She spoke, she's a good, very, very good role model in terms of a black female who's went to high school, went on to college, graduated, now is a head coach at a major university. She speaks on education very well. She's just an excellent speaker altogether. She gives a lot of black youth and white, Hispanic, whatever, you know, she gives them that sense of need, desire to strive to better themselves. And that's what she instilled in a lot of my girls at Luxton Park when I was there, at Phyllis Wheatley when I was there, and now at Central when I'm presently there now.
Yes, I know that she has opened up a number of doors for not only minority young women, and since she has been at the university, they have gotten the basketball summer camp going under her direction last year, and I'm not sure she's going to be there this year, but did she have anything to do with any of your girls going to that?
Yes and no. Yes, in that she's the head coach there, and you know she was running the basketball camp. But I guess the university had got some money funded from Pillsbury, who in fact made it possible for us to get those scholarships to inner city youth who are at a disadvantage in terms of economics. So they made it possible. The university and Coach Fields made it possible for those kids to come to camp.
I know I had a number of girls from my facility go to the camp, and they said they got a lot out of the camp. What was the feedback you got as far as Coach Fields as a coach and an individual from your young players? I know a lot of times when people go to camps and they aren't used to going, you know, they don't know what to expect, and Coach Fields kind of laid it out for them. So what did your young women come away with as far as what they learned, especially from Coach Fields' standpoint and her philosophy on working hard?
She would always say, be the best that you can be, no matter what. And that was something that she really instilled in the girls, because the girls that came to the camp, they were from the inner city, you know, one-parent family homes, just making it maybe borderline of, in terms of the financial need in the inner city. At any rate, what she instilled in them was the desire to strive to be the best that you can be. She also stressed how to be a young lady on and off the court. If in fact you play basketball, be a young lady on the court, be a young lady off the court, be a young lady in the classroom, be a young lady at home, always being a young lady. And she also stressed the religious aspect of it, putting God first. And that shows in her. And that was something that I picked up too when I played at the university. I picked up putting God first, and there was often times that she would come out and visit our church, His Risen Church, when I was a member there. So she stressed the religious aspect, the educational aspect, and striving to be the best no matter what you do. She would also say something, I remember one time she would say, if in fact you're going to be a garbage digger or a trash picker-upper or whatever, be the best trash digger or the trash picker-upper that you could be. So just strive to be the best that you can be in everything that you do.
Okay, so if you can sum up Coach Fields in 1 or 2 words, how would you describe her?
Great. She's an excellent role model. She's a great person, and I just wish her luck in her endeavors after coaching, because I talked to her before, and I remember she was saying something to the effect that she always was Coach Fields. She never had a chance to be LaRue Fields, and so now this is a chance for her to be LaRue Fields. And I really think that she did a great job with what she had, and she made a lot of great things happen here at the university. And I'm sure whatever she decides to do after basketball will be an excellent success. So I just wish her luck.
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I'm here with Molly Tadich, and Molly played under Coach Ellen Mosier-Hanson, but her senior year, Coach Fields was an assistant under Ellen. And I'm just wondering, did you see any major changes in the way Coach Hanson coached with or without Coach Fields? Did Coach Fields have any type of influence on the way Coach Mosier, or was she, just support staff, or did she have a say? Was she just a passive assistant, or did you foresee maybe a head coaching position out of her assistants?
Well, I really feel that in Coach Fields' first year that she didn't do so much coaching as she did served as sort of a recruiter for Coach Hanson to go into areas where Coach Hanson maybe wasn't able to recruit very successfully out east, perhaps down south. And personally, the way Coach Fields affected me as a player was she had the type of attitude that I have as a player, very aggressive. She wants you to go out there and give 110% all the time. She's very much of a player's coach in terms that she'll do anything for you. She is hard on you, but she does that to make you a better player as well as to make the team a better team. And that's what I really appreciated in having Coach Fields there that senior year.
Okay, as a coach now, as far as affecting the university players, do you see her coming out in their type of player, their attitudes? I know most of the young women that played for Coach Hanson were from white suburbia, either Minnesota or Wisconsin or other regions such as Minnesota, and the aggressiveness and the assertiveness both on and off the court wasn't evident in their type of play. It was more of a set play. You do A, B, and C and run the play as she sees fit, and not so much freelancing. I mean, do you see that as well, or?
Yes, I do, and I see that the problem that Coach Fields has was that she was stuck with so many of the players that Ellen had recruited for the 3 years that Coach Fields has been here. She was stuck with players that she did not recruit and did not have the mentality that she was looking for in a player. Not to say or put down the players that were here, but Coach Fields would recruit a different type of player, and that's the kind of coach, she's the kind of coach that I would like to have played for. Again, Ellen, I don't think, was as hard on us as she should have been. And I really appreciate that in a coach when she makes us work and makes us want to win. And a lot of the players that are here on the team, the seniors, that are leaving this year. A lot of them, again, are from, or all of them are from Ellen's era, and therefore were not recruited by Coach Fields. And maybe if there was a clash in personality or a clash in the type of way they wanted to play, and that's where a lot of the troubles come in. And that's where I feel the biggest problem was that Coach Fields wasn't given enough time to bring her own players in to play, and the kind of player that she would have play at the University of Minnesota.
As a person, how would you describe Coach Fields off the court? I know we see her on the court intense, a hard worker, but as a player and as a former manager, I saw a different side of her, and maybe that's not perceived by the public as much. What did you see as a player?
Well, as a player, again, I didn't have her as a head coach, and it might have been different had she been the head coach. But again, from what I see, I would love to have played for someone like that, because off of the court, she really cared about us, and just to prove that, when I didn't even have her as a head coach, and she was able to help me get a job, and she was very concerned when I graduated that I would be successful and obtain a job, and she helped me, and she didn't have to do that. She wasn't a head coach. She was there 1 year when I was there, and she did this for me, and that's just the kind of player she is. She will do anything for her players. Yes, she's hard and demands a lot from them, but she also gives that in return.
If there's one word, one or two words that could describe Coach Fields, how would you describe her?
I think probably the two best words I could use, again, on the court, she shows a different personality, but you have to as a coach. You can't be so nice when you're on the court. You have to have a certain mentality. And I would describe her as intense. Off the court, I think she's very caring.
Hilmerson, who played her senior year under Coach LaRue Fields, and this being her last game, we just wanted to get in touch with a couple of the alumni and see what their thoughts were about the resignation of Coach Fields and how Coach Fields affected their lives. I know you played under Coach Hansen for the majority of your career here at the University of Minnesota, but what was it like that senior year? I know it was a year of transition and change, and basically from one end of the spectrum to the other, it was, you know, because Coach Hansen, I saw her as more as a passive coach, as far as more Coach Fields being a more active coach. What do you have to say as far as that's concerned?
Well, I think Coach Fields taught us a lot about pride and how to work as a team. No one was really outstanding. We didn't have any individual that could carry a whole load, so she taught us how to play as a team. And, you know, she taught you a lot of things on and off the court, not just on the court, you know, off the court, how to act in society and how to, you know, relate with things in the world and everything. I think she helped us all out, mentally and physically.
If you could just describe Coach Fields in a word or two, how would you describe her? Maybe one word on the court and maybe one word off the court.
Well, one word on the court maybe is hard working. She always really made us work as hard as we can work, and I think she always just tried to she tried to make us the best person we could be on and off the court. So maybe that word fills her in for both on and off the court.
Okay. As far as your senior year, when you look back, what is your greatest moment?
Well, I think our greatest moment is when we won the Dow Classic here my senior year. No one really expected us to do anything just because we were in transition with the new coach, and that feeling of just winning our last game, or the first game into the Dow Classic, and then winning the whole tournament was great. You know, it was to carry a trophy around. I mean, we hadn't carried a trophy around ever in my whole career, you know, and then our senior year we thought, okay, maybe we're going to get our stuff together. And that was about the best moment in my senior year, I think.
Okay. What do you think about these seniors? Do you have any words to say to them? I know they're were under your wing, you know, your players that you helped recruit, and I know we have Jennifer Hall, Jody Olson, Juanita Beelan, Sue Renner, Jody Olson, and Leah Bergen, who was a transfer student for Minneapolis Community College. They're all leaving. They're losing a big bulk. Do you have any thoughts about those individuals?
Well, I just think that the rest of the players that are left here are really going to have to pick up a big load, because those seniors really played a big part on this team, being the leaders in scores, leaders on and off the court. I just think that they're really going to have to work hard without, you know, just since they won't have these players anymore. And someone's got to take a step up. Maybe Holly can do that, or one of the other, you know, younger players. But I say good luck to those seniors, because they did a great job. They didn't give up like their last game. You know, they won by 2 points or whatever it was. You know, they worked hard in 4 years, and they deserve you know, a hand when they go.
Well, being my first year here, I think it's been more than I could ask for, and she's been a role model for me, and she's helped me professionally and personally, and I love her and I wish her the best of luck.
Gonna miss her. She recruited me and I came in having her as a head coach, and she's taught me about life and basketball both together, and I'm gonna miss her.
She really knows what she's talking about. She's a really good coach. She's hard, but I mean, any coach is going to be hard, obviously. I really like playing under Coach Fields because she gets the best out of me. You know, she makes you work. So I think that's what I like best about her.
Well, I like to say about Coach Fields, I think she's done a great job in her time here. Although last year we did finish 10, I think she made a lot of positive changes. The team was a lot different to me. Things were done a lot quicker, a lot better, and I would just like to say to Coach Fields that you've been a real positive role model to all of us, and we appreciate everything you've done for us.
Coach is a very positive person, but she works you intensely, and that's what I like about her, and that's why I signed here. She's got a work ethic that's unbelievable. I mean, she expects the best, and she, out of people around her, and she only expects the best out of herself. So she's a very strong person with a strong character.
Well, Coach Fields has not only been the head basketball coach, but she has been a role model for her team. When she comes on the floor, she's ready to play basketball, and she has instilled that quality in us as well, and I just thank her for that.
Well, I think we're losing, you know, we're losing a lady who gives 100% and who's real aggressive and real into her job, but yet, you know, it's good that she's going to be leaving if she's not going to be able to give it her all like she has in the past. And so, you know, I think there's a lot to gain from it also.
Me personally, I was very surprised at first, I think, along with everybody. But, you know, we can't really feel sorry for ourselves as a team and, you know, think that, oh, you know, why did she do this? Because it was something that she had to do and something that, you know, she thought would be best for her, and I respect that decision. As far as announcing it in the middle of the season, I think, you know, there's advantages and disadvantages to that. Of course, it kind of, you know, hurt us a little bit, the underclassmen more than the seniors, just because they'll be back. But I think that it was to an advantage to the underclassmen where, you know, they know that this is the case and what's going to be happening in the future, and they're prepared for it, rather than, you know, her waiting till the last minute and telling them then, and then, you know, everything's all up in the air. So this way they had time to do a national search, and, you know, as far as that goes, that's probably an advantage.
Her resignation is her choice. I want her to be happy. If she's tired of coaching and tired of doing what she's doing, I want her to go out and do what it is to make her happy. If it's, you know, having whatever career it is, or to do whatever she wants to do, as long as she's happy. And I think that's for anybody, as long as, you know, you're happy. And she, you know, she made that choice. I know it was very difficult for her, but that's her choice.
I guess I'd just like to thank her for the dedication that she's put on the court, and what she has personally given to all of us players individually. She's helped us all a lot, and I'd just like to say thanks for that.
I think that she has brought in a lot of new air about in women's basketball at the university. The program's turned around to a very aggressive program. We practice hard, we have high goals, and it's known that we work hard. And I think just bringing around that turnaround in the program is a key that she's done, and that will be missed. And I know, and hopefully the next coach that comes in will continue pursuing that goal.
I would like to say that Coach Fields is probably one of the biggest influences in my life, and I'll always remember her.
Your chance to say what you want.
We're gonna miss her. We really are.
Yeah, it was a very difficult decision. I think there were a lot of factors. There wasn't just one factor. And I think the main thing is just making some time off for LaRue. I've been Coach Fields for a long time. And I know some people say, well, you've only been coaching 12 years, but that's a long time for me, you know. And I would like to just be LaRue and to find some things find out more about LaRue and to see what makes LaRue tick. Because what I've been doing over the last couple of years is I've been nurturing other people, players, assistant coaches, you know, and what have you. And I would like to see just what's inside of LaRue and what makes LaRue tick instead of trying to get all that from everyone else. So, I mean, I know who I am, but I would like to know a little bit more of who I am and what's going on and to do a change of profession. And I think that's a challenge I'm looking forward to. But I am sad about leaving, but I'm looking forward to my future as well. Yeah, I think that's been one of the most rewarding parts. And I know people measure our success, and they may say, well, she wasn't successful as a coach, you know, because we didn't have these wins, and we have more losses. And I think that's absurd in the true sense, because these young women that I'm associated with, be it coach, be it player, be it manager, they have grown. And I know that they will take a part of me with them, you know, as I would take a part of them with me, but they have grown. I mean, the growth in them as young women and individuals are just, I mean, we're talking totally different people. And I know you've seen their growth. I mean, they have just grown. So it's kind of funny to see the people you knew as freshmen and sophomores, the Jody Olsons, the Sue Renners, you know, Juanita, and the things that they have done over the time period that I've known them, and the things they do now, the assertiveness and the strength and the courage and the openness and the open-mindedness that they have, and, you know, all facets of their games and their lives have changed. And it's just, that makes me smile, because they've all just, but they're good, they work real hard, and they're a little bit like me, and that makes it fun. You know, they're ready to take a risk, even though a lot of people within the state of Minnesota, in the city of Minneapolis or St. Paul, don't understand why Coach Fields is leaving this position and how she could quit in the middle of the year with no job, and you know, but my players know, they know, they know Coach Fields is a little bugged, you know, and very intense. But she's going to make her own path, and she's going to do what she feels is best. And she's pretty stubborn and headstrong, and she'll make it all right, you know, so they know that. So even though they were shocked as the weeks grew and passed, that's typical Coach Fields. She would do something like that, you know, because it is different, and I have a tendency to be a little different.
Very fun last game for the senior year. It wasn't a win, but it was a fun game.
Well, what I said to the ladies was just, you know, thank you. Thank you for a good time. We've had a good time with each other. Nobody can take away our memories, our fun, our laughter, our you know, the things we've done together, whether it was good, bad, or ugly. You know, we had it together, and we'll always be together. And they're always going to be special to me, like I hope I am to them. So hang in there, and let's keep in touch with one another. And let's let nothing come between us, particularly time and space. If I ever get to that far. First, let me get to that point. Yeah, I got close. I had a fella bring me some roses today, so that's the closest I've got. So I may work on that later on, too.
Now, is that, oh, what am I supposed to say now? Yes, yes. I'm leaving. No, yes. The season's over. Yes. I'm not going to say that. Oh, that's okay.
That was fun.
But I felt I did Minnesota fair, and I felt they did me fair.